External references can pose some challenges when emailing a drawing to a client. You see, in addition to sending the current file, you also need to ensure you're sending the geometry from any linked references. Fortunately, AutoCAD makes it easy to consolidate all of the references into a single file. In this lesson, we'll explore the options of the Bind tool. On my screen, I have a civil engineering example, and this drawing contains a couple of the external references. In the event you're having trouble finding the reference geometry, you can always come up to the Insert tab and then on the Reference panel, click the small arrow. This will bring up the External References Manager, where you can see the names of the linked drawings. If you select the file name in the manager, that geometry will highlight in the drawing. Just for a second, I'm going to right-click on each of these files and unload them, because I want to show you that this is the only geometry in this file. If I was to email this drawing to a client, this is all they will get. In order to include the geometry from these other drawings, I need a way to insert that geometry into the current file. We'll do this using the Bind tool. Let's right-click and reload each of these drawings. And just for a second, we'll open the Layer Manager. As you can see, the reference layers are prefixed by the file name, then a vertical bar, and then the layer name from the reference drawing. Move back out. I'm going to bind the floor plan first. To do that, I'll right-click on the file name and select Bind. And then in the Bind dialog box, I'll make sure the Bind option is selected and I'll click OK. This converts the floor plan geometry into a block that is inserted into the current file. If I come back to the Layer Properties Manager, take a look at the layer names. Using the Bind method of Bind, all of the layers and settings are preserved. This method is the best choice if you want to ensure that your geometry maintains its current appearance. You know, as long as we are binding these files, it's not a bad idea to create some bound copies of your drawings once in a while. These files are a great way to document the history of a project. I'm going to move outside the manager and let this collapse, and we'll bind the furniture geometry next. To do that, I'll right-click on the file and select Bind, and I'll use the Insert method this time and I'll click OK. As you can see, the furniture geometry has been converted into a block. If I come back to the Layer Properties Manager, notice the change to the file names. Using the Insert method, these layers will act the same as if you had copied and pasted the geometry into this file. At this point, all of my external references are gone. I'll close the manager and I will save this file with a new name. To do that, I'll click the Save As button and I will save this inside the Exercise Files directory as 06 Prop Civil Email. This file is now ready to be attached to an email and sent to my client. As you can see, using the Bind tool, we can easily consolidate reference files into a single drawing. This drawing can then be emailed to a client or used as an archive to record the history of a project.